basically going to be a head to toe daily maintenance and mobilization, prepping the joints, also mobilizing throughout the whole kinetic chain. And this is something that you can do at the morning, at night, or even if you get 5-10 minutes throughout the day, you can be going through. So we're going to spend about 30 seconds to a minute on each exercise. We're going to run through that twice, and then from there we're going to just test and challenge your shoulders and then that full kinetic chain. So it'll make more sense as we go through. So I'm going to do this kneeling on the ground, but feel free to do this standing as well. I'll try and give you cues just to keep you honest and keep you moving with good alignment. But as I say, I'm going to be doing a lot of this just on my knees. Oh, before we go, if you've got boring white socks on, get them off, as Jacko would say. I've got some, they might look white, but they've got jazzy patterns on. So let me know if you've got your jazzy socks on ready for this. Right, so to start with, we're going to do some head and neck circles. So in this position, as I say, you can either do this standing, I'm going to do this kneeling. So I'm going to do a circle with my neck, okay, nice and smooth and controlled, and I'm trying not to move my shoulders or my abdomen. So I'm going to do a gradually increasing circle, trying not to flare the shoulders up. Good, I'm just working continually. At the moment I'm going clockwise. It might be different for you. As I say, working between 30 seconds and a minute on each one. Good, nice. And then we're going to reverse it. So I'm going to go back the other way. Again, start nice and small, but I'm trying not to hike those shoulders up. I'm trying to open up these scalenes. I'm trying to, the sternocleidomastoid. I'm just trying to progressively move in bigger circles, trying to stay away from pain at all times. If you are getting any pain, that's a red flag, and either sort of scale it back or step away from the exercise. Okay, so now what we're going to do is swimmers. So again, if you're stood up, you can be doing this, but I'm going to make a fist. Keep my arms nice and straight. So I'm going to start at the side. From here, I'm going to go all the way up, so bringing it forwards, and then I'm going to rotate, so internally rotate, and then take them round, put them in the middle of my back, and then keeping that fist all the time, back to the front, back down. Okay, so raising up to the front, internally rotate. I'm going to place the backs of my hands into the middle of my back, so my sort of lumbar here, or a little bit higher if you can get it up there, but be nice and kind to yourself. First movements of the day, so back, externally rotate, back to the front. Good, we're going to do 2 more of these. So raising at the front, internally rotate, making a bigger shape now, place it in the middle of your back. Good, making that nice tight fist, sending a good strong connection all the way through the arm, back to the front, arm straight the whole time. Good, internally rotate, last one of these, middle of the back. And don't know about you, but my shoulders feel better for that already. Just getting this synovial fluid nice and warm, that feels better throughout the pec and shoulder. Good, nice. So from here, I'm going to give myself a little hug. It's the end of the week, you've earned a little hug. So again, I'm going to do this kneeling down, but if you do this standing, just make sure I'm going to keep the glutes nice and tight, and I'm not going to sag through here. Basically what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to limit the movement to this upper portion of my spine, okay, the thoracic spine. So give yourself a hug, and from here I'm going to do a small circle. I'm imagining the point of axis or rotation is right in my solar plexus here, so right on your ribs. So give yourself a hug, show you from 3/4 angle. So going to rotate round, making sure that I'm not throwing my hips with it. I'm locking my hips off, squeezing those glutes. Going to give a little rotation through here. I can feel a bit of clicking and popping. Good, 2 more. And then we're going to go the opposite direction. Good. So slight bit of spinal flexion. So folding forwards. Oh, nice. Good. One more. Rotate back and round. Good. And reverse it. So you might want to start in small circles. And again, they're not going to be huge, but you can start to make those slightly bigger. Good. Oh, two more. Again, keeping the glutes firing so you can keep yourself honest through that movement pattern. Oh, that feels good. Nice. Good, guys. Right, so now we're going to go on to all fours. And again, when we talk about movements, some of these things you may have seen in yoga, or you might have done in like a Pilates or ab class or something like that. But remember, it's all movement, it's all within the same hemisphere, so we can cherry pick the best bits and try and take that alignment and take some of those good cues and postural control into the rest of the world of movement. So again, we're doing calisthenics today, but that doesn't matter. The main thing is we're moving and getting better. Boom. Right, so I'm on all fours now. So again, I'm trying not to sag too much through here. So notice how I can go all the way down, all the way up, but I'm trying to find somewhere in the middle to start with. So shoulder, elbow, wrist, all in one line. And I'm also, so from the front, I'm also going straight down. I'm not coming in, I'm not going out. So coming straight down from the shoulder. Okay? So from here, so I've found that neutral position with my spine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start lifting. Imagine there's a hook in the middle of my back, lifting me up. So I'm trying to touch the ceiling with my thoracic and lumbar. So I'm lifting up, cat, and then I'm going to come all the way down. I'm going to drop my pelvis through neutral. So anterior pelvic tilt now. Good, hang out there. And then I'm going to reverse. So driving up through neutral, up to the top, trying to touch the ceiling with my spine, and then slowly sink back down. Good, nice. We're going to do 3 more of these. Rising up. This feels lovely. All the way down. Good, 2 more. Lifting up, pushing the ground away, creating a nice big arch through the spine. So that's spinal flexion, and then we're going to go into extension. Good, excellent, guys. So that is warming up the lumbar, so this lower portion, and then that thoracic, which is the bit that often gets stuck, especially when we're on computers all day. Right, so from there, what we're going to do, we're going to do a bit of a hip girdle. So our hips look a lot like our shoulders. They're the very similar mechanism by which they move, so ball and socket. So we've warmed the shoulders up, now we're going to warm the hips up. So I'm going to go back to that position that we're in just a moment ago. So remember, finding neutral, so not sag too far down, not pushing too far up. I'm in this neutral position. So what I'm going to think about doing is taking my hip around the full capsule, so like full 360. I'll show you what I'm after, and then you guys have a go. If not, I'll go at the same time, no worries. So I'm going to bring my knee up to my chest. I'm going to bring it out to the side, and then take the heel up, round, back to the center, okay, and down. So I'm thinking about doing a big hip circle, trying to draw a big circle with my ankle. Good. Notice how, I'll show you front on, I'm trying to keep, again, the alignment, shoulder, elbow, wrist, but also I'm keeping that in line with my knee. So I'm not trying to lean out here. I'm trying to keep a really solid foundation, and then my hip is going to come out to the side. Yes, you could create more range of motion by dropping this hip and going like this, like a small Jack Russell Terrier when they take a wee up a letterbox. But what we're trying to do is limit that motion just to the hip. Okay, so keeping ourselves nice and honest. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to go for 5 of these, and we're going to go the other side. So knee to chest, pushing the ground away, come out to the side, and then from there I'm going to internally rotate, take the ankle out, back to the center. Good. 1. It's chest, out to the side, and then I'm going to internally rotate, take the ankle out, round, back to the center. Nice. Good. 2. Side. ankle flares out, back to the center, 3, knee to chest, out to the side, and then internally rotate, foot flat to the sky, back to the center, good, knee, out, ankle up, back to the center, good. Let's have one more. I can't remember what we're on, 4 or 5, may as well have one more. Hey, good, nice. So we're going to go for the other side now, so whichever you didn't do then, we're going to do now. Same position again, I'll show you from this side. So push it straight down, everything lined up, straight down here, and then knee also in line with that wrist as well. So knee to chest, I'm going to take it out to the side, so really squeezing that glute med. I'm going to internally rotate, so ankle now flares out, flat to the ceiling, bring it back to the center, good, 5. Out to the side, internally rotate, ankle goes up, draw it back round, 4, side, squeezing that glute, ankle up, back down, 3, 2 more, out to the side, internally rotate, squeezing, back down, last one, squeeze, so really pulling, the action is coming from this glute med, so squeezing that, ankle up, back down to the center. Excellent work, guys. It's really muggy, that's what we'd say in the UK. It's really humid today, really muggy. Right, so that's knee circles, and then we're going to show you one more. We're going to do a frog rock. So we often refer to when we do a frog is this position, but I'm going to show you one now for the hips. So when we're here, I'm going to take my hips to 90 degrees. So if you imagine here 90 degrees, what you might want is a little cushion or something underneath. If you're doing it on like a hardwood floor, put a little cushion down. So I'm in this position. Now what I'm looking to do is have my leg, so my knee and ankle, in a straight line. So I'm going into this, looks like a frog or a toad. Okay, so from here I'm going to take the weight into my elbows. I'm going to rock forwards and backwards. Okay, I'll show you one from the front. So hips only work to what feels comfortable to you. As I say, if you're struggling to get into this position, you might need to take more weight into the wrists. Just drop this down a tad. So you might need to take more weight into the wrists. Okay, so I'm at 90 degrees through the hips. Imagine that, 90 degree. Also my ankle is in line with my knee. From here I'm going to take weight into my wrists, and I can rock backwards and forwards. If you find that quite easy, I'll show you from this side. If you're finding this quite easy, what we can do, increase the amount of load, go down onto our elbows and just rock forwards and backwards, and just spending a little bit of time in this position. Good, guys. Does that make sense? Rocking backwards and forwards. And we're not going to do this for reps, we're just spending a little bit of time in this. Again, feel free to come out of that position, or even if you want to, go a little bit further, but trying to keep those ankles in line with your knee. Good. Nice. Last one, and then we're going to do it all again. Last one. So we're going to go into a full squat position in here, and now what I'm going to do, so I've got a relatively low squat, but you might be at 90 degrees. But the main thing we're looking to do, so use your hands if you need to. I'm going to squat into this position, and I'm going to look to rock forwards. I'm trying to keep my foot flat to the ground. And if you want to depth gauge, what you can do, you can create a little marker. So I'm leaning forwards, if that's too easy, 2 fists. But again, what I'm trying to do is encourage my hips to open and also spinal flexion. Okay, so here, full squat position. Again, that squat might be further up and you just bow in forwards. That's absolutely fine. But what I'm looking to do is either keep yourself honest by creating a little gauge using your hands. I'm just going to bow forwards, keeping those feet flat to the ground. Good. That's it, rocking forwards, be nice and kind to yourself. Again, you might just be doing quite a small rock. I can feel this through my ankles, through my hips, also a little bit of spinal flexion. Good. Another 10 seconds. Again, have a little explore with this movement. If you need to come out of this position, feel free to do so. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Excellent. So we've gone through the whole routine. And again, I'm not expecting you to remember that, but there's some really nice elements in there. A lot of these are actually taken from the mobility masterclass with Ollie Frost. So if you were looking to explore some of these movements a little bit more, have a look in the virtual classroom and have a look for the mobility sequence with Ollie Frost. It's a full program, so really, really good that you can be using all day. And don't forget, 7-day free trial. Right, so we're going to go through that all again. If there's any questions, please feel free to put them in. Right, so let's go through that again. Good, Kelly's feeling better already. Nice one, Kelly. Hi, James. Right, let's go again, shall we? So head circles. Remember, I'm doing this on the ground, knees directly below. As I say, if not, you can do this standing, that's absolutely fine, but try and keep yourself honest. Try and keep yourself honest by only keeping the joint that we're trying to mobilise and not bringing the whole body in as well. Right, so head circles. Remember, any pain or discomfort, that's a red flag, we want to step away from that. So head circles to start with. I'm going to do a small circle, but you'll notice the second time round will feel loads better than it did before. Getting progressively bigger and bigger. Good. Another 2 more. We're trying to really push our shoulders down, so we're not hiking the shoulders up. We're really trying to depress them. Good, go the other way. So start small, nice and kind to yourself. Getting bigger. But again, I'm not trying to bring my thoracic spine in at this point. I'm just trying to keep it in my neck. Good, nice. So from there, swimmers. Remember these? So creating a fist. Show from the side. So creating that fist, pushing those shoulders away. So I'm going to come up, driving up, overhead, internally rotate. So the backs of my hands are facing each other. I'm going to come all the way around, touching into the middle of your back. And then reverse that pattern, coming up, back to the front. So shoulder flexion, into extension, internally rotate, back to the hands, touching your mid-back, coming all the way back round, back to the front. Good, 3 more. Backs to the palms, facing each other, turn it round. Mid-back, open up. Good, 2 more. Again, really keeping those hands nice and tight. All the way back to the front. Good. Last one. So driving up, nice and tall. Back to the palms touching, internally rotate. Back to the hands, middle of the back. And good. Right. So now give yourself that nice hug. Thoracic rotations. So I'll show you quite small. So a little bit of spinal flexion. So coming forwards. Glutes nice and tight. Again, we're just trying to work on this mid to upper back. Again, small circles to start with. Glutes nice and tight. Trying to rotate around your rib cage. Good, then reverse it. Again, don't worry about reps so much on this one. Just getting some good quality movement in. Good, nice guys. Oh, I've just got a big click there. Good, excellent. So remember, cat cows now. Just take this off, 2 secs. Right, cat cows. So on all fours. So in this position, what we're going to be doing, remember to find neutral, so sagging through, and that's all the way to the top. So we don't want to be all the way down here, we don't want to be all the way here. Not to start with anyway. So set yourself pushing down into the ground, and then from there we know our limits, we know the default position. So now we can start dropping those hips down. So anterior pelvic tilt, driving all the way up, arching that back, pushing the ground away, creating a nice movement through the spine. Good. We're going to do 5 of these, dropping down, all the way down to the bottom now. All the way to the top. 4. That's it, nice and slow and controlled. 3, good, 2 more. 2, good, 1 more. All the way down, hips facing to the ground. Reverse it, come all the way to the top. Imagine arching that spine, moving every segment. Good, all the way to the top. Back to the centre. Excellent. So, remember, go back into this position for those knee circles or hip circles. So again, just trying to move that whole hip girdle through full range of motion. So, remember 5 of these. So, we're going to bring that knee to the chest. We're in that box position that we were before. So, pushing down into the ground, knee to chest, out to the side, squeezing that glute med, ankle to the sky. 5. Oh, kicking the blunt. 4. That's it, good. Knee to chest, out to the side, ankle goes up. 3. Slowly back to the start. Knee to chest, out to the side, ankle goes up. 2. Good, last one. Chest, side, ankle, and 1. Good. Go straight into that other knee. So from here, knee to chest, out to the side, ankle goes up. 5. Again, smooth and controlled. Knee to chest, out to the side, ankle goes up. 4. Keep pushing that ground away. Knee to chest, out to the side, ankle goes up. 3. 2 more. Chest, side, ankle goes up. 2, last one. Chest, side, internally rotate, ankle goes up. And 1. Ooh, I'm getting warm. I don't know about you lot. The knee circles, okay? So from here, I'm going to do those frog rocks. So we're going to come down, 90 degrees in the hips. Again, I'm going to slowly come down. So I might be quite happy in this position, just opening up the knees. Remember, if you're doing this on a hardwood floor, you might just want to pop a cushion or something under your knees. So I'm in this position. I'm going to rock backwards and forwards, just trying to open up the hips and the adductors, so I can really feel a stretch, especially when I sit back here. I can really feel that stretch. Okay, but if that feels quite easy, or you're very comfortable in that position, I can drop down, weight into the elbows, creating more angle at the hip. Good, rocking forwards and backwards. Don't worry so much about reps. I just want to glide and slide in this position. Good, guys. Another 15 seconds. So once we've done this, we're going to go into those squat bows or prayers. Okay, good. Slowly come out of here. Remember, if you're quite comfortable in the squat, feel free to just hang out down here. If not, come further up, that's fine. But now what we're looking to do is add a little bit of spinal flexion, so folding forwards. Again, remember sort of the precedence you set last time. If you've got a couple of yoga blocks, what you could do, pop them down like this, and you could rock forwards, and that keeps you honest, and also a way to create progressive overload. So let's see if I can do it like this. But the main thing is full squat. Notice how my ankle stays flat to the ground. I'm going to rock forwards, touch the ground, and come back. So it really feels good through the hips, this, and also a bit of spinal flexion. So rocking forwards, good. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, good. Last one. Excellent, guys. Good. So that is the sort of mobility or daily mobilization that you can be doing. So now what we're looking to do is add a little bit of strength, a little bit of a challenge or a finisher for you guys to go through as well. So I'll just grab some water. Yes, red light rising. Yeah, muggy as. Really is. Really is. So, what we're going to be doing now, guys, is something that Tim, so Triceps Like Tim, set a sort of little shoulder challenge, testing your sort of movement adaptation by pairing a sequence of movements together. This is in the virtual classroom, so those of you who are not in the virtual classroom, it's an absolute wealth of knowledge. 7-day free trial, remember that, and it's also 50% off during this time as well, so it's a no-brainer. Right, but I'm going to give you a little sneaky insight into this. So what we're going to do to start with, we're basically going to be taking the shoulder through a full range of motion. So a shoulder, healthy shoulder, is able to elevate, so like a shrug. It's also able to depress, so elevate, depress. It's able to protract and retract. So we're going to play with these positions now. It's going to be a 4 position. So we're going to start in a push-up. So remember, good technique throughout, elbows screwed back. So from here, glutes on. Remember, you can scale this so you can go from your knees, that's fine. So elbows screwed back, top position. I'm going to show you the positions now. So you're going to come down, up, and then this position, I'm going to rock to one side, keeping that full body alignment, pushing the ground away. Okay, so into this T position. So we've gone from a horizontal, so shoulder retraction, now into this push, so shoulder abduction. I'm going to go to the other side, open up to the other side, back to the front. I'm then going to rock my hips back into this pike, down, up, making sure I push away, so shoulder elevation. Okay, from here, and then I'm going to bring my hips through into either a tuck L sit or a full L sit. Okay, and so that's shoulder depression. Okay, so a lot to think about there. So I'll go through it quickly and then we'll do it together. So we'll go from a push-up position. So elbow screwed, slowly down, drive up. That's push. So keeping my shoulder blades retracted. Okay, retracted. You can add a bit of protraction there, but don't worry too much. So down, up. From here, I'm going to rock to one side, pushing the ground away. T, back to the centre, over to the other side. T, back to the centre. So from here, I'm going to send those hips back into a pike, down, up. And then from here, scoop my legs through into an L sit. So even in that position, I can keep my hips and feet on the ground, hips close, feet on the ground, and depress the shoulders. But those of you who feel more confident, either tucked L sit or full L sit. Okay? Right, so now you've got the 4 positions. If you've got either yoga blocks or parallettes, again, you don't need these, but if you've got them, we can start to incorporate those now. Right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do my next set using yoga blocks. Okay, so go through that full range again. Push up, T, T the other side, pike, L sit. Okay, but hopefully you can see that you're taking your shoulder and creating strength and stability through the full range. Yo, Reese the Jack, my man. Right, who's ready for this? So, I'm going to use the blocks. You can use books or whatever you have available. I'm going to use the blocks and then I'm going to do the parallettes afterwards. But if you've got parallettes and you feel strong enough, let me know in the comments what you're using. We're going to, boom, do that now. So, remember, push up to start with. So the technique remains the same. Elbows screwed back. I don't want to see any push-ups to the side. Elbows screwed in here. Wind up that fascia through the shoulder. Down, up, T one side, T the other side, pike, L sit. Right, let's go, shall we? As I get hotter and hotter. Right, push up to start with. So glutes on, elbows pointed back. Remember, do these on your knees if you feel that you need to. That's absolutely fine. Elbows pointed back, slowly down, driving up. So I'm going to move over to one side, open T position. I've got my feet stacked on top of each other, but you can split your feet, gives you a bit more balance. If so, T the other side. From here, I'm going to bring my hips forward or scoot back. I'm going to elbows nice and tight, pointed backwards, come forwards, push back from here. And then, if you are using an elevated service, you can scoot through straight into the L sit, boom, like that. Okay? So notice how as soon as you create more height, it's easier to do that swing through for the L sit. Cool. Right. Good. We've done 2 rounds of that now. Let's try the bad boys. Available from School of Calisthenics shop if you're interested. Whew. Right. Who's ready for another one? Who's ready? Who is ready? Right. So hopefully that makes sense. We're just building movement, adaptation, and taking our shoulder through a range of motion and adding strength. So if we add mobility and strength, it gives the brain more reason to hang on to those new ranges. Okay, so ultimately we're just trying to get better at life. So we've done our daily maintenance, our mobility, our joint prep, and now we're going into a bit more sort of strength focus, but still building that range of motion. Cool. Right, let's go. Can't do the L sit. What is the option? Cool. So for those of you who struggle with the L sit, let's do one on the ground, because then if you can do it on the ground, you can scale that. So if you go from this pike position, what I want you to do is bring your legs through to here, and I want you to think about pushing the ground away. Notice the difference. So if I'm just resting out here, I'm not really working very hard, but what I can do is push the ground away, and over time I can either take my feet further away into this position here, so it's like a reverse plank, so shoulder extension, pushing the ground away, boom, like this position, because we're still working the core, i.e. sort of rectus abdominis, but we're also linking the upper and the lower body. Okay, does that make sense? So if you're struggling with the L sit, pike position, bring the feet through, scoot them through, go into this reverse plank and pushing the ground away. Okay, and give us a good sort of 3 or 5 seconds there. Yeah? Hopefully that makes sense. So again, if you've got any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. Yes, right, boom, let's go. So, push up, T, T, pike, L sit. Let's have you. So from here, glutes on, squeezing tight. I'm going to come down under control, elbows nice and tight, coming back to the top. Now notice how now I'm driving, it's still driving, but I've got a neutral wrist, open nice and wide to the sky, control, back to the front, open to the other side, back to the front. From here, I'm going to do the pike position, so taking my bum nice and high, my head comes just in front of my palms, I'm pushing all the way back, making sure to reverse shrug, so I'm driving my shoulders away. Then from here, this is when it gets funky into that L sit. So I'm going to scoot through, either tuck L sit or full L sit. Woo! Oh, good. Right. I know I said 3, but let's have another one of those, shall we? Let's have one more, and then we will call it a day. Okay? So give me a boom if you're ready. You can see I'm glistening this morning. So as a heater, using those mini wooden parallettes, they'll be absolutely spot on. They'll be a really good way to do it, because again that keeps the wrist neutral. Even if you've got something like some small dumbbells, that just helps keep your wrist neutral, especially if you're struggling. So obviously the clearance isn't as high and they're not as stable, but just know that going into it, because you could still do something. You can still do it with these L sit. Okay, so use whatever you have available. So whether yoga blocks or full parallettes, It's actually harder, I think, if you're lower to the ground, especially as you go through to that L sit. Anyway, just use what you have, hey? Cool, right, last one of these, guys. I'm buzzing for this. So, push up, T one side, T the other, pike, L sit, and then we are finito, and you can crack on with your Friday and your weekend. So, push up to start with, glutes on tight, elbows pointed back, slowly come down through the full range, if you got it, driving up. So I'm moving my hips over to one side, opening up. I've got my feet on top of each other, but if you want to split them or stagger them, that's fine. Again, keeping the glutes tight, open to the other side, pushing the ground away. And from here, I'm going to rock back onto my hips, on my tippy toes. Going to come forwards, down, head touching the ground, in front of my palms, pushing back, make sure to elevate. So pushing the ground away. So from here, the big finish, L sit. So I'm going to load through the wrists, tuck, or if you've got it, full L sit. Good. And back to the start. Woo! Well done, guys. That was fantastic. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I feel ready for my day now. Whew. So, as I say, that first portion was taken from the mobility sequence within the virtual classroom, done with Ollie Frost, the movement master. So that was like a really nice sort of daily maintenance that you can be taking your joints, prepping yourself for the day. And then from there, as we went into more of a strength-based movement prep or adaptation. So now you know that sequence, you can feel free to do more of those, start putting those together, and you can enjoy that. And again, you can really feel a pump through the shoulders. I can feel it, triceps and pecs as well. Good. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I say, I've been your coach today, Coach Owen. So Owen B. Jackson. They say, any questions, please feel free to go over, send me a message. I'm happy to answer those. Make sure you stay hydrated, good folks. Excellent, thank you. So any questions, put them in. Is there any? Good, I think that's basically everything. Anyway, I really appreciate you jumping on board today, guys. I say, during this time, during lockdown, 50% off all monthly memberships, so you can start from as little as £5. Absolutely fantastic, like no brainer. For those of you going off to have your porridge, man like James, enjoy. So YouTube, really appreciate you jumping on. I just want to say thank you so much. Have an awesome weekend, everyone. And then there's workouts and education happening every weekday. So whether it's jumping on and doing a class with Tim or Jacko, or doing a workout with myself or one of the other coaches, I really appreciate you coming on. So, thank you all so much. As I say, look after yourselves. Nothing but peace, love and respect during this time. Class dismissed on YouTube.